We got Paul up next.
All right. And you can't see my slides, is that correct?
Yep, I can
Excellent.
see him.
All right. Well, hello. My name is Paul Debevec. I am a back-end engineering student at Turing School of Software and Design. And today my lightning talk is on Space Age 2 and the privatization of space. I'm going to talk a little quick just to make sure we get through all the content in here. So just to let you know. All right. So first off is why am I going to talk about space? Well, I believe that space travel is important for the future of humankind. Secondly is also to just inform people as far as what are potential repercussions of privatizing space and how this could potentially affect people on Earth. Next is we're going to show the potential outcomes, and I just want to give you a couple options as far as kind of what I see as potential outcomes for what could happen in the privatization of space. And lastly is I was raised with a deep passion for space. My father was an aerospace engineer for 37 years. I watched sci-fi growing up. I read all the books. And so it's been a deep passion of mine my whole life. And so we're just going to dive right in here and first talk the importance of space. All right, so with the kind of the boom of the second space age here in the privatization is we're going to see a massive influx of tech jobs. This can include anything from aerospace, electrical, mechanical engineering to software engineering. There was a professor at Cambridge University, Martin Rees, and Professor Rees in 2003 released a book called Our Final Hour, in which he gave civilization a 50-50 chance of surviving the 21st century. And he attributed that to things like human folly, such as cyber attacks could potentially lead tensions, like global tensions, and lead to nuclear war, deadly disease and virus, which we've seen a recent example of with COVID-19. And so the importance of space travel really is that it increases humanity's chances of survival by expanding our reaches. I just wanted to show a brief history of space exploration here. And this is mainly to show that, I guess, where we have been as far as NASA's funding and where we're at now. NASA had about 4.3% of the global budget until 1993, at which time their budget was slashed below 1%, and ever since then it has actually remained below 1%. And so with today's privatization, and that's kind of why we need today's privatization, is that with NASA's budget being so low, today's privatization has become more important than ever. And so we have what is called the billionaire space race. And this includes people such as Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, and Elon Musk, and their respective aerospace industry or companies. A more specific example is NASA's Commercial Crew Program, which on May 30th of 2020, NASA's SpaceX Demo 2 mission sent two NASA astronauts to the International Space Station. And I just wanted to show this because on the picture on the right there, this is kind of what SpaceX has provided, both the Crew Dragon spacecraft, which is the little white capsule on top, and then the Falcon 9 rocket, which is the entire rocket below. Upon the astronauts' return, the crew will be picked up at sea by SpaceX's Go Navigator recovery vehicle. So we can already see where privatization has kind of taken a lead in a lot of this. Now, with the future of privatization, there's a lot of talk about mining asteroids and celestial bodies. And the reason that we do that is because these asteroids contain a lot of rare earth minerals and materials, such as platinum, gold, iridium, and other things that are not only incredibly difficult to mine here and collect on Earth, but also very expensive to get on Earth. Recent estimates of a single asteroid could be worth up to $10 quintillion. And if we consider our global economy in 2017 was 127.8 trillion, it's exponentially, a single asteroid could be worth exponentially more than our global economy. And this diagram here just shows that with recent estimates too, known asteroids in our solar system, we have like the lowest end of the estimation for their worth is still in the quintillions of dollars, which again is exponentially more than our global economy. So with two potential or possible outcomes here, one is seeing a massive intensification of inequality, where we would see billionaires become exponentially more wealthy, and instead of buying yachts, football teams, private islands, space industrialists could actually purchase entire countries. And the other side to that would be the potential for the elevation of all people and a movement towards an egalitarian world. And so if we take a look big picture at this, we could establish a sovereign wealth fund for the entire Earth. And if we imagine what that could do for our species and the planet, we could better medical equipment, we could bring up third world and underdeveloped countries. There's just, the possibilities there are almost limitless. And so with that in mind, there was actually a group that really pushed towards this, and that was the Group of 77. They were established on June 15th of 1964 by 77 developing nations or countries. And their goal was to establish a more equitable distribution of profits derived from outer space resources. They wanted to reduce global poverty and increase the well-being of all nations. They believed that space was the common heritage of all humankind and as such should be utilized to benefit the entire human population. Now, they had actually released a couple papers or several papers kind of outlining some rules that we should set as far as like as a globe for the privatization of space. A lot of these were kind of shot down or ignored. And then in 1996, the United Nations Outer Space Committee responded, and this is a headline of one of the articles, which was, advances in space technology should not be allowed to widen gap between developed and developing countries. And the final word from them came in 2014, when they said outer space benefits must not be allowed to widen global gap between economic and social inequality. And so with that in mind, I just have a few discussion questions here, which is one is, should private companies have full rights to resources they extract from celestial bodies? And what are the potential consequences of this? And there's extraordinary wealth in asteroid mining. Should this wealth be distributed to benefit underdeveloped countries? And who should decide how that wealth is distributed? How should we prioritize space travel in the current economic state with the rise of COVID-19 and the strong push around the globe for BLM? And finally, what would be the benefits of a government-funded space program versus a privately funded program? And I will go ahead and drop these in your channel.